How to safely adjust diabetes insulin with glucose data. Are you wondering how to adjust your insulin safely using your glucose data? This is a common question for many managing diabetes. Let's break it down step by step. First, understanding the types of insulin you use is essential. Basal insulin works to keep your blood sugar levels steady between meals and overnight. On the other hand, bolus insulin is used to cover carbohydrate intake during meals and correct high blood sugar after eating. Many people with diabetes follow a basal bolus or multiple daily injection regimen, which allows for flexible adjustments. Next, it is vital to collect and review your glucose data consistently. Make it a habit to record your fasting glucose values every morning. This will help you evaluate how well your basal insulin is working. Additionally, monitor your glucose levels before and after meals to assess how well your bolus insulin is covering your carbohydrate intake. It is best to use at least a week's worth of data to identify trends rather than reacting to a single reading. When it comes to adjusting your basal insulin, focus on your morning glucose patterns. If you notice 2 or more fasting glucose values below 70 milligrams per deciliter, consider reducing your basal insulin by about 4 units. Conversely, if your fasting glucose values are mostly above target, such as 3 or more readings above 130 or 180 milligrams per deciliter, you may need to increase your basal insulin by 2 to 4 units. If your glucose levels are stable and within the target range, it is best to maintain your current basal dose. Remember to make these adjustments once a week, as basal insulin affects your glucose levels over a longer period. For bolus insulin, compare your post-meal glucose readings to your target levels, which are usually under 180 milligrams per deciliter to hours after eating. If you consistently see high glucose after meals, increase your mealtime insulin dose by small increments, such as 1 to 2 units. If your glucose is low after meals, decrease the bolus dose similarly to avoid hypoglycemia. If you count carbohydrates, you may need to adjust your insulin to carbohydrate ratios based on your glucose readings. Correction doses are another tool you can use when needed. These are additional insulin units given to bring high glucose levels back to target. Calculate these doses based on how much 1 unit of insulin lowers your blood glucose. It is important to avoid making large corrections at once to minimize the risk of hypoglycemia. Always make gradual changes to your insulin doses. Adjusting in small increments, such as 1 to 4 units or 10 to 20%, is safer and more effective than making large, infrequent changes. Frequent small adjustments help you manage your blood sugar levels more effectively. Lastly, do not hesitate to consult your diabetes care team. They can help you set glucose targets and create a plan for adjusting your insulin. Discuss any significant changes or concerns, especially if you experience frequent low or high glucose levels. Remember that factors like illness, physical activity, stress, and changes in diet can also affect your insulin needs. Adjust your doses accordingly, but always do so with caution. By carefully interpreting your glucose data and making small, gradual adjustments, you can manage your diabetes effectively and safely.